Hello, my loves. This is Heidi Hancock with Double Magenta Intuitive Energy Healing. Happy New Year. This is your soul message for January 2020. I have been anxiously awaiting feeling better so that I could come and do this video. I got sick just the last couple days before the new year, ended up spending New Year's at home, playing Zelda with my husband and watching movies, which was actually nurturing and exactly what I needed, but not what I planned. And what I love, and that I'm going to share before I get into the message, these two additional teachings that came through for the month that I think are just exquisite because of my illness. Number one, we aren't in control of timing, and often we have to surrender to the timing of nature, right? So I wrote this message the week before Christmas and didn't get a chance to record, and then got sick over Christmas, and here we are. So that's just it, right? Like, that lesson in and of itself could take a whole lifetime to unpack. And the second thing that I love, because of this, my sickness going over the last couple days of the year and then coming into the first couple days of the year, what I love is that it also tells the message that we cannot take the past with us. We cannot take the baggage of the past with us. It weaves into everything else I'm going to share this month, but it's really important to constantly be reminded that we are transforming and that we are becoming new beings, new spiritual beings, new physical beings, new emotional beings, new mental beings all the time. And we can't take the luggage of the past with us. It's inaccurately informing us because it doesn't, it's not appropriately representing where we currently are. So leave it in the past. So January and the year of 2020, it's just going to be amazing. I'm so excited to watch it unfold. So the last several years, I've talked about this rising of the feminine and the rising of the feminine energy. We live in a predominantly male-dominated patriarchal society. Most everything that you see created in the world has been created in that energy with very little of the feminine considered. And that feminine energy has finally poked up so much through the soil that it is like the genie is out of the bottle and she is not going back in. So this whole next year, it's going to become commonplace to see this feminine energy out in the world. And so the energy of January and the energy of this whole year moving forward is about weaving the masculine and feminine together. So what we're doing is that feminine energy that's coming up through us, that's through men and women, doesn't matter your gender or sexual orientation, we all have male and female energy within us. And the purpose of that is to weave it together so that we have both and we can come into balance. So the year of 2020 is, if you follow the tarot or sacred geometry, it's a year of 4. So the 4 in sacred geometry, the 1, you're singular, the 2, you're creating a line, the 3, you're creating a triangle. So you have some stability. You could create a stool with 3 legs. But once you get to 4, you're finally at stability. So this year is more about stability and balance because you've got the 4 legs on the table. It's more of a stable structure. So this year we're going to be talking about building the structure, whatever it is, building the plane. Maybe you have wanted to do something for a long time and it's kind of been in the ether. This year is the year to actually bring it out into the world. So I'm calling this, this soul message, owning who you are, claiming who you are, because that's exactly what we're doing. It's not just for January, it's really for the whole year, this sense of claiming who we are. So with that, I want to talk about this energy of January. So I struggle with this time of year every year because we have this big New Year's celebration and it's a party and it's yay, we're, the new year, and it's as if we're supposed to wipe the slate clean and suddenly it's supposed to be better and different and excellent and magical and lively and all of those things. We are still in the dead of winter, y'all. Like, it doesn't work like that. We still are in the dead of winter. So one thing I really want to remind you for January, because we're in the dead of winter, because we're in this new energy of creating stability and balance for the year and bringing who we are out into the world, it's a time this month really to allow yourself to stay in that hibernation. We're still in the chrysalis. We're starting to poke through it. Next month, I think we'll feel a little bit more of the evidence of that. We're starting to poke through it. We might be getting some faint ideas about who it is that we're becoming and where we want to go this year, but we're still sticky. We're still in the chrysalis, right? Like our wings are not quite separated and formed yet. So some of the things that I want to suggest for this month come from that, this sense of like really staying in the hibernation of the winter and allowing yourself to assess what was working last year, what was not working, what do you want to let go of, what are you wanting to create, and really sort those things out. Be with yourself in meditation, allow yourself to be still and quiet to hear those things. So some of the things that I'm going to recommend this month: one, deep cleaning. I talk about it all the time, the clearing. But right now is really the biggest time to do it, because when you're getting ready to create something, you cannot create something new in a messy space. You've got to clear the space, right? You have to be able to see, oh, look at all these old clothes. These are not me anymore. Look at all this stuff that was lurking in the dark of the closet that I forgot was here, right? We want to clear those things out and move those things out so that we have a clean slate and we actually can see what we're doing. We see what tools we have left and we see what tools are missing. And then we can go out and find the tools that we need to create what's coming forward. The next thing I want to suggest is vision boarding. I know people talk about this a lot. It's like a woo-woo, law of attraction thing. I'm into the law of attraction, but I'm also not into the spiritual bypass part of it. Like, you don't just throw something on a board and leave it there and go, oh, look, it's going to manifest because I threw it on a board. No, you have to actually put your feet in place to create those things. However, it's very powerful to allow yourself the time and freedom and creativity to throw stuff up on a board that's calling your attention, and allow yourself to see who you are becoming and what's unfolding in front of you. Because we often think we know who we are, and when we take time to create a vision board and we see what's showing up on the board, we often see a different part of ourselves than we knew was in there that wants to be created. And the last thing, this is going to be awkward, uncomfortable for a lot of people, but it's eye gazing, and it's very powerful. So you can do this with someone else. I highly recommend it, especially in an intimate relationship or with a good friend that you really want to get to know, and you feel like, it's a really deep-rooted way of feeling like you know someone and that they have your back and you have their back, and that we're all one, and it's all welcome and familiar and okay territory. However, for this month specifically, I want you to do it in the mirror with yourself, because we are learning who we are, right? We need to spend time with ourselves seeing, who is it that we're becoming? What is it that I want to create that's new? And you can't really do that if you don't know who you are. Who is this being that you're becoming, right? So that's going to be really important and powerful work if you can get yourself to do it. I highly, highly recommend it. So I'm going to attempt to chant this month. However, I am not going to do it with a harmonium, because I practiced it just before this, and my voice is so strained right now that you can't even hear it over the harmonium. So I'm going to do it a cappella here, okay? And what we're doing this month, this is weaving together the masculine, feminine, and the balance. So we're chanting. I've done this chant one other time. I think it was in the summer. We're chanting to Rama, Sita, and Hanuman. Rama and Sita were a married couple, so you've got the masculine, feminine, and then Hanuman was a devotee of theirs. So you have those three coming together, the masculine, feminine, and the devotion of Hanuman. So you've got the balance of those and the weaving of those together. And while we're chanting, I'm just going to give you a flavor of it so that you can work on it on your own. While we're doing this, I want you to think of weaving together the masculine and feminine and creating a floor beneath you. This is the floor that we're creating for the year that's going to be a springboard for us going forward. So with that, and I'll say this one more thing about the masculine and feminine. So the feminine is the fluidity and the masculine is the stability, right? So we need both. We need the creative and the structure, the seen and the unseen worlds. And so you're balancing those two together. So with that, we will do a little chant. So if you want to close your eyes with me and just listen or just take the tune in. So just take a moment to come into yourself, sweeping away whatever you were doing before or whatever you're doing after. And just allow yourself to hear the tune, get into the rhythm of it, and feel the balance and the weaving together of these principles. Rama bolo, Rama bolo, 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 ram. Rama bolo, Rama bolo, 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 ram. Sita bolo, 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 ram. Sita bolo, 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 ram. Hanuman bolo, 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 ram. Hanuman bolo, 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 ram. And we'll do it one more time. Rama bolo, 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 ram. Rama bolo, 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 ram. Sita bolo, 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 ram. Sita bolo, 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 ram. Hanuman bolo, 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 ram. Hanuman bolo, 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 ram. So just allow that to settle in your system. And feel free to open your eyes. So when I feel better later in the month, I will try to record that as an audio file on my website, or I'll do an Instagram story or something like that so that you can have access to it a little bit more. So have an awesome month. A couple announcements. So Women's Circle, if you live in Portland, Oregon, Women's Circle is next Wednesday, January 8th at Awakenings Wellness Center from 7 to 9. And you can find the information on that on my website, doublemagenta.com, on the events tab. Also on the events tab there, you'll see I'm co-hosting a retreat with two other goddesses, and it's called Healing the Sacred Temple. That's in March, and it's a weekend retreat. That's also available on my website now. And that's going to be all day Saturday, Sunday, and we're talking about healing the sacred temple within and the temples without. And it'll be full of all sorts of gooey goodness, spiritual tools for you to take with you. So I wish you the best for January and for the year ahead. It's going to be a really powerful year of creation, stability, balance, discovering who you are, claiming that and bringing it out into the world. So I wish you all the best. Namaste.